Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. This video is in praise of women. This is my Valentine to womankind. And I don't just mean this in a romantic sense or a more lascivious sense, but I suppose women of all ages, from toddler girls to great-grandmothers, I have been fond of. And obviously women can be so adorable. And I'm not just saying that because I'm straight. It's not just like that. I suppose you're feeling affection for them in their maternal sense. How I appreciate so many things about women. Obviously not about all women, because there are 3 billion women on the planet and they vary enormously. But the female voice can be so soothing. It can really calm people down in times of trouble. And there's so much that's serendipitous about them. Just appearance, I suppose, skin, dignity. Women tend to be much more hygienic, fragrant, and I know that's because they're wearing perfume and so on. Women's fashion and style, not necessarily just elegant and glamorous outfits, but women have got so much more scope for dressing up. And I suppose I like women who are kind of somewhere in the middle, not like bull dykes wearing dungarees, or not completely the opposite end where they're just too dolled up and just impossibly elegant and take an hour to get ready because they're spending an hour in front of the mirror putting their makeup on, something like that. So because they're beauteous in all senses, not just the visual, and because of their sensitivity, usual verbal fluency, tend to have a greater verbal intelligence than males, and the artwork they can produce, somewhat in the plastic arts, but I suppose in literature as well. Just trying to think, are there any female authors I like? Well, there was one who wrote, oh my God, I can't remember the novel now. It's set in France, the United Kingdom, the United States, from the 30s to about the 60s, but I'm kicking myself. There was that woman who used to write Eagle of the Night, things like that. Enid Blyton when I was little. So authoresses can be fabulous. Well, women can be so uberous, and I'm obviously talking about most shapes. With their curvaceous and their bodies seem to scream fertility, down to women who are quite petite. All of these can be as they aesthetically pleasing, and obviously not just treating women as objects or saying they have to be an ornament. That was the old-fashioned way of viewing things, but obviously appreciating ladies as a whole person. The odd thing is, I suppose I like the two words, either lady or else girl. Woman, not quite so much. Seems a bit feminist to me. I'm on board with first wave feminism. I certainly believe women should have equal rights, should be allowed to vote. Women being prime minister, that's fine. I've had a woman as my boss on many occasions, got no beef about that. Third wave feminism, well, we can't say this or do that, and people can't crack a joke or be flirtatious. I dislike that. Now I realise this can go too fast. People can feel gauche about it. People can be harassed and things like that. So I think we need to strike some sort of a balance. Not to be overreacting, not to have zero tolerance, where nobody can ever strike up a romantic relationship with somebody in the workplace, but and not to go back to the other days where women were molested at work and could do nothing about it. There was nobody to tell, So sweetness, the sublimity of women, they're supposed to be more merciful and nurturing, giving life. So such chatterboxes like myself, and I suppose only in that sense am I touch my feminine side, not in the way I dress or look after my flat. I don't really look after it, actually. And I suppose being caring, including people, looking after me. Well, what do I do for them? Not enough, I'm afraid. So the average lady would like to feel glamorous sometimes, and that's great, dressing up occasionally. Not very good at it myself. Obviously, I don't like a woman who's too stuck up, and even see this on dating sites. I want to be treated like a princess and think she's a bit too special. That's over the top for me. I know some boys go for that. These are some of the attributes of femininity which appeal to me. And as I say, I realise there's a range of attitudes and behaviour amongst women. Can't stereotype them too much. I don't think I am. I recognise there's a whole gamut of experience and lifestyles amongst women. And a few women are beastly, just like some men are horrid. This is what I like about women. I can feel so fond of them, of all ages. And maybe it's because of the gender balance of my family that I'm slightly inclined that way. Perhaps because I was deprived of female company for 5 years that were crucial in my psychological development, 13 to 18. So yeah, I suppose let's hear it for the girls. We boys maybe don't speak it up enough for womankind. Now, not so many women are politicians. That probably reflects credit on females because politicians are almost necessarily less than honest, tend to be sharp-elbowed, egotistical, and things like that. So I don't really believe in having all women spaces. I think societies which try and separate the genders are bad news. Why should we separate it? It civilises us males to be around ladies. We try and improve our behaviour. Just reading a prison memoir by Bruce Reynolds and saying that when female teachers or whatever came in, it worked wonders for people's hygiene. Were really trying to be clean and fragrant for a change because they were going to get a glimpse of women. So, women I think are objectively just easier on the eye than males. Even women's magazines will have ladies on the cover. So we can admire women in all ways. And accepting that women do go over the age of 25, can get a bit older, and can still look ravishing. So there's so many things I like about womankind, and I say not just in a base and lustful manner. So, and not any advance to be made. Really, I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't want anyone to be mistreated, male or female. So, don't particularly looking for changes in the law. There's no political aspect to this for me. One thing is because of my distaste for abortion, some people say, oh, you hate women, which is absolute drivel. Laurie Penny or Penny Red used to come out with that canard. So, yes, let's have a wonderful, relationship between the sexes where we mingle on equal terms. And how preposterous it is that people would try and keep the two genders apart. You say they have to go to separate schools or can only meet at work when absolutely necessary, such in Saudi Arabia. Why stop there? Why let them meet ever and get married? It's preposterous. So I'm just trying to think of a good sign up. A good way to sign off. Well, women forever.